So, just to document this conversation, this person I learned is just a woman who identifies herself as a biological, natural woman with one child who was born too young, or when she was too young, and then her second child was a what she refers to as a rainbow baby, which I thought had a reference to possibly the LGBTQ rainbow theme, but it was a reference to something completely different, which I found rather ironically humorous, I guess, that she's so against this word cis. It's like it just doesn't even it's the one thing it's pandering to her, it seems. But yeah, I mean, if I could just read it, I don't use cis. I have a whole issue with men pretending to be women. Trans women fought to be trans women. There is nothing wrong with that. I have an issue anytime a man thinks he is a woman because it entitles him to not only women's sports spaces, but also give him rights of men and women, which is wrong. I hearted that, okay. And then my reply was, here's how I'd suggest biological non-trans woman. I should have said women, but essentially that's just how I got to word it. Perhaps not in this conversation. Perhaps that's where I lost her. But against using cis, to consider incorporating cis into your their rhetoric on social media to stand up for your their issues ready. So I guess just this was how I try to introduce quantum software upgrading, I guess, to classical computer minds like this user, just by showing them how these pronouns and these terms can be used to speak the things. So right here, you are against allowing cis men, a biological man who is born and just, yeah, to simply identify as trans women, that is now allowing any sexually dangerous cis man to enter into your public and private spaces and even sports, competing against them as a fully identifiable male on hormone blockers. That's just my wording. I think that both biological and trans women would better combat the deep underlying issue troubling parents and adults like yourself and I regarding the LGBTQ2 plus community. Clearly, a trans woman for you means when a man has fully transitioned into the likeness of woman. But when it comes to a cis man changing their wardrobe and hairstyle to identify themselves as trans, being allowed into women's spaces must stop. I've stated it the only way I can. Trans women will never be women. They are trans women. This conversation is over. I, again, am not a non-trans woman. I am a woman, period. I don't carry on conversations when that isn't respected. I will leave you with this. I have long time been friends with many trans people who fought for their place in the LGBT community, who are now receiving hate along with the LGB because of these new trans wave extremism. Calling people cis conformity of their inclusive language, quote unquote, and we will not do it. Period. Never before has any group tried to force others to accept them by bullying and manipulation. So right here, she still sees this as, first of all, I personally don't feel part of this LGBTQ community because I don't feel represented in the sense where I guess, yeah, I'm a happy married guy. So, yes, I guess in that sense I could be in the gay category, but that's not what this means. But again, it's all about rhetoric, TikTok, and I, as a Christian, have tried to help my fellow sister or sis here just see a new light. But I guess when all your focus is on just the darkness, that's created. In the beginning, God created light. He didn't create it. He just said, let there be light. And there was light. And what's the light? Oh, here's the light. That this is the language that we can kind of unify around. But, then what did God do? God separated the light from the darkness and called the light day, and the darkness he called night. This person, unfortunately, is completely in the night. And I pray that some other user who is truly a disciple of Christ is able to just pick up where I left off and help her just open her eyes to see the difference between her knowledge of good and evil, if that makes sense. So just yeah, personal, this is just a chit chat that we'll see how it plays out. But like I said, her entanglement is very, very entangled here if she's just too blind to just be able to read this. But perhaps one day she'll go back and reread the words when her feelings have reset and maybe see it the way I'm personally seeing it. Maybe you see it differently. Let me know. But I just wanted to keep a record of this. And yeah, I wish her and fellow sisters like her to hopefully find their way back into the light of God. Amen.